money did you make?
I made $7,000.
Good for you. How?
Yeah, and this is my friend right here.
Okay. The other gambler? Okay, and how
I
did
gave
you...
a lot of people, because I'm a giving person.
You are. So how did you make the, how did you make the 7,000? On what?
On the monkeys.
On the monkeys.
This is the plaintiff, Maxine Span. She says she and the defendant have been good friends forever, and she's shocked and appalled to be here in court with her. But what's right is right. She loaned her $240. The defendant won't pay her back, and she needs the judge to tell the woman she's in the wrong and to pay up. So she's suing. This is the defendant, Charisse Dunlap. She says the plaintiff told her the money she gave her was a gift, then turns around and changes her tune saying it was a loan. Her son even threatened her. She called the cops and she's sticking to her guns because the money was a gift. She's accused of unfriending a friend.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Maxine Span?
Yes.
You are suing your forever friend, Charisse, not so forever, Charisse Dunlap for $240 of a loan that she has not paid you back, and you say she owes you. What happened?
Me and Charisse talks every day. We normally talk every day on the phone. She's an old friend. So what had happened was around July the 6th, she was telling me that her mother was going on a trip to Atlanta and that her daughter needed $300 to go with her mother because the mother didn't have the money, didn't make enough, or the father.
So you loaned her the $300?
I loaned her the $300 on July the 14th.
And when was there an agreement that she was going to pay you back?
She said on July the 17th, she said I would make two payments. One payment, $150, and the following Friday, another $150.
Okay.
Well, when it came
Had you ever loaned her money before?
Well, we loaned each other, but never that much.
Okay.
So when it came time to pay me, that Friday night, she didn't call, she didn't show. So at 9 o'clock, I called her. She was at a club. So I called and she said, oh, don't worry about it, I'll be home. Still no call, no show. So then I text her. She texted me. She said, I'll meet you in the nail salon Saturday. So she sent me this long text saying, how do you think that I owe you $300?
Oh, let me see the text.
Yes, when you made this money at the casino, you did whatever for everybody else. Why do I owe you?
What? You mean because you went to the casino and you made a lot of money? How much money did you make?
Because I went to the casino.
Wait, how much money did you make?
I made $7,000.
Good for you. How?
Yeah, and this is my friend right here.
Okay. The other gambler? Okay, and how did you...
I gave a lot of people, because I'm a giving person.
You are. So how did you make the, how did you make the 7,000? On what?
On the monkeys.
On the monkeys.
I was playing the monkeys.
You were playing the monkeys.
Yes, that's the name of the game. So
okay.
She feels as though, she said that she misunderstood me when I passed her the $300 in T-Mobile that day. I purchased an iPhone and my son was there. He witnessed me giving her the money. And even bought some shrimps and french fries that day after that. Mm-hmm. So then she said she misunderstood me. I wish I could have did more for you. Well, I have a grandson that just passed in March. I'm still paying off my funeral arrangements for him. He was 2 years old. And she knows that I'm going through chemo. My first day of chemo, I was bringing her child home from school. I picked up her kid every day and brought him from school. Then my son would do that when I didn't feel well. So after that, she texted me and she said, well, I got $60 for you. That was that Sunday. So I came over there and I got the $60 because I really needed my money. And then she texted me at the end and said, I'm not giving you blank else. So then I took my son, because me and her had a real bad fight one time before. I took my son.
In the past.
In the past. She showed up at my doorstep when my grandson passed in March. So what else I'm going to do? I took her, took her back. She took me back, I took her back. She knew my grandson. So then...
I'm sorry.
So then when I called my son and I took her to her house.
She thought that she
took her
felt
to her
that
house, right.
okay. And she thought that was confrontational.
But I don't know why, because my son is used to picking her kid when I didn't feel well up from school. And he knows her very well. They went to school together. And she felt as though that he would threaten her just because he said, Reese, you know you borrowed this money from my mother, give it back to her. So when they went inside they opened the door and then they went in. And then I heard all kind of utensils rattling. So me and my son, we just
had the prior fight that you talked about, when you said we had a fight in the past, you mean physical?
Physical.
Physical?
And I'm 58 years old and this girl is old enough to be my child.
You folks had a physical fight?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was in 2008, December 2008. At that time, I was drinking a lot and she was using drugs at that time.
Yes.
So we had a situation that got completely out of control, which landed us both in.
What happened? Did she loan you $300?
What happened with the $300 was I met up with her and the deal was that I was supposed to give her the $150 that Friday and then the following Friday $150 again. She gave me the money.
So it was a loan from the beginning?
Yes, she gave me the money outside of the store. She says to me, Sharice, you have always been there for me because mostly I was the one lending money to her, and she never had to pay me anything back. I wasn't holding anything over her head. Her exact words to me were, you've always been there for me, and I'm gonna do this for you. I wish I could have done more. Don't even worry about it.
Never said that.
Those were her.
By then you already had the money, right?
Yes, I was still standing there with her. That was on a Wednesday. So I'm explaining to her that I did not, maybe I took your words out of context because you're asking for the money now. However, I did pay some bills. I said, I'm gonna give you something. I said, the following week, I'm gonna make another payment, then the following week, the last payment. I apologize. You did use a poor choice of words. I was not trying to keep her money from her at all. I gave her a breakdown of what I got paid that week and what I did with the money. I told her what I had left. I needed to do grocery shopping because I don't want to have my kids in the house starving. I said, I'm going to give you something.
Why are you looking at her with that nasty look?
No, I didn't give her a nasty look.
Right now, right this second.
No, but that's how we talk.
Okay.
That's just really how we are.
Okay.
So I told her that. I said, you can come pick up the money.
Why did she have to come pick up the money?
Because that's what we did.
And what about...
Hold on. Don't talk to her directly. Go ahead.
Thank you. So that's what we did. I said, you can wait here, or I can come back and you can get it from me. She rushed to the house. She got it from my fiance. And from what he told me, she was in the hallway and she was really loud and she was upset and she wanted...
but I thought that's just how you guys talk.
No, more so.
Only you can talk like that.
No, we both do. We both do.
So what was she saying?
So he told me that she was yelling and she was saying about, she has cancer and she's going through her chemo, and that she was picking my daughter up from school and all those things, which was appreciated. I didn't really need her to do so, and I also
Was she doing that for free?
No, I was paying her to do that. So it's not like she was getting something
So
from
she's
it.
getting mad. Okay, but why are we here? Why are we here, Sharice? Because here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at people who've known each other a long time, who've been friends a long... What?
I love that woman. She is my friend. And I told her that I was sorry.
For the second time, you guys have a huge problem, and now your huge problem has landed you in the people's court. You know you owe her the money originally, but then you felt like, oh, well, then she changed her mind about it being a loan. But, for me, for the judge, the question is, what was it originally? She denies that she ever told you could let it float. Maybe she meant when she said, I wish I could do more. Maybe she meant, I wish I could do more besides help helping you to get this money sooner by loaning it to you. Maybe that's what she meant, as opposed to you can keep it. But either way, when you guys realize that there's a misunderstanding and you say, okay, I'm going to budget, I'm going to pay you back, weren't you already budgeting because you were supposed to pay one payment on Friday and then the other payment the next Friday? Because that's how you were going to do it. Your expenses didn't all of a sudden magic. So all of a sudden now you're telling her, well, now you're going to get it in 3 parts and you're going to get it when I want. And so she's a little angry because she feels put upon. And then you, instead of saying, zipping your mouth and then just kind of going through it, you actually said, well, I'm not going to pay you anything. Why did you say I'm not going to pay you anything?
Because how the situation happened with her, it's between me and her. And we're dealing with this between me and her.
Well, now apparently it's between the 3 of us.
Yeah, she called my parents on the phone and she's saying all these things to my father. She told my father before I even got home that she was outside of my building waiting for me with her son. He has never been to my house before. There was no reason for him to be there.
Has he picked up your kids?
He did pick up my daughter from school.
Do you know him?
Yes, I do know him. I knew him first.
So, go ahead.
So what happened was I opened the door and I'm explaining to him what happened. He's getting really loud now. You're gonna give my mother the money. I'm not trying to hear that. My 2-year-old is at the door and it's getting out of hand. She's standing there on this side of me by the stairs. She's yelling, he's this way. My fiance's in the house. I slammed the door. He opens the door. Now he's talking to her son. Listen,
who opens the door?
My fiance. He says, this has nothing to do with me and you. This is between them. This is between the women. But you're not gonna take anything from her. He was talking about me. And they kind of got into their words and they're getting close and the 2-year-old is there. I push my son back, I move him back, and I slammed the door.
And then you made a decision not to pay her. I'm with you on everything until you make the decision not to pay her.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes.
I understand every word you're saying. You misunderstood when she said that.
Yes.
You know, you didn't have the money because at that point you thought you weren't going to pay it back. I understand that you decide to pay it back when you realize that you misunderstood. Everything is so good until then.
I got to that point after. As soon as they left from the door.
You have no right to get to that point.
No, I'm skipping the part.
You have to know that that's not a defense.
Yeah, but I'm telling the truth. I have to tell the truth. Once I slammed the door, my fiance went, he grabbed the bottle, and he was coming back to the door.
A bottle?
He was, for her son. For her son, because her son wanted to fight. He's at the door. I didn't come here till I'm telling the truth.
Well, how do you know her son wanted to fight?
Exactly.
Because he was yelling and screaming.
He's yelling and he's getting close, and I don't give up this, that, and the third. You're going to give my mother back the money, whatever.
So your fiance goes in, gets a bottle, and then what happens?
I closed the door to stop him from coming out. Now, after her and her son left, I know this was not Miss Span on the phone texting me, but I did get texts. Better not take your kids to school. Your mother and your daddy, they gonna give it up hitchhike. You gotta be to work early in the morning. So I takes the next day off work, and I escort my fiance to take my son to school and to pick him up. My 10-year-old daughter was in day camp. I had to go through all that, and I did do a police report because I do security for a living. And I can't be fighting with somebody and get arrested and my license stopped, because at this point, I am the only bill payer in my house.
Who texted her that stuff?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if you had a really good friend and they borrowed $240 from you and they stiffed you, would you end that friendship?
I think I would straight away.
Because?
Because they owe me money and they're not giving it back, so.
That's a true statement. Would you end it?
I don't think I would if it was a really good friend, because she probably bought me that amount in food anyways. So.
That's true, but what if this was particularly a loan and she just said, screw you?
Then I would, yeah.
What do you think? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
I would not. I would continue to be friends.
Okay, so here's my question. Okay, so we got the 240 established. What if they borrowed 1,000 and wouldn't pay it back?
I mean, you keep going.
$2,000.
Yeah, it's a little different than
$5,000.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Would you 86 them?
Yes.
Exactly. Going inside the courtroom.
I texted her and I told her, I said, well, maybe if you don't want to pay, your mother and father will pay.
No. I'm talking about the text she just talked about that said, repeat them?
Better not take my kids to school.
No, I never texted that. You can
Who
look
did?
at
Who
look
did?
at my text.
It's coming from her phone, and I have mine as
But she doesn't think you're the one who did it, though.
I told her, I said,
It
I'll
wasn't
see you in the morning time. I'll see you in the morning. I had ideas. I see her in the morning.
no, you
and
did
then
issue
I
that.
did.
Was
and
that a
then
threat?
I even no, not really.
Well,
And
yeah,
then I even-
it was meant to be perceived as a threat.
Yeah, well, I was trying to make her think I was serious about my money, and then I said that something else I said to her.
What is wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
Honestly, is this worth
But
losing?
why did it have to get this far?
I don't know. That's my question. You know who doesn't take it this far? Me?
Yeah.
But you guys take it this far. You guys take it this far regularly. It's not the first time. And you're sitting here, she's like loving on you while she's standing there. She's like, I love this woman. Do you love her too?
Yes.
Not so much now?
Not so much now.
I understand.
Because I never want to go through all of this with Sharice. I never thought that I would have to.
Over $240? You guys are killing me.
I apologize. We both, during our years of being friends, 10 years, we've made mistakes along the way.
Do you think you made a mistake this time?
I do, but I feel like she should have forgiven me and gave me the opportunity to make it better.
Did you apologize after all this?
I apologize, not after that date that me
well
and
then
her.
what are you talking about?
I was apologizing the whole time. We had a whole day's text
I
messages.
saw all those texts. Those are when you're trying to get a payment plan that's smaller than what she had banked on.
I apologized.
After this all happened, did anybody make a move to amend?
I apologized to her the night before I paid. I paid her the $60 on that Saturday. I spoke to her that night.
You know what?
On Friday.
I'm done.
Thank you.
No, don't thank me. You both have stuff to apologize for. Apologize to her for not paying the $240.
I am sorry I didn't pay you the $240.
And apologize to her for making it all into a street fight.
I apologize for that.
Do you really? Because you don't look sincere.
I
now make it sincere. Don't you feel it?
Yeah, I really apologize for that. That
right.
you had to take me there.
$240 verdict to the plaintiff. Good luck, ladies.
Thank you.
I really do hope you work it out.
Okay.
Sharice and Maxine in court fighting with each other. Can you believe this?
No, not really.
Is it over now?
It is for me.
Was that resolution helped by the judge?
Yes.
Did you put it all behind you now?
Yeah.
There's your friend right over there. You want her out here?
Yes.
Come on out, Maxine.
Give me a hug. I love you, girl. I love you too.
This is better than the monkeys, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
All right. All the best to you two. All right.
Thank you.
Harvey.
I got to tell you, I love this case because it really shows that you don't have to end a friendship over an honest agreement. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Runako Anderson. He says he hired the defendant to install a 65-inch flat-screen TV on the wall, and the inept guy cracked it. The defendant admitted breaking it. He has it on video, and still he can't seem to get the guy to do the right thing and get the TV fixed. So he's suing for $4,000, the amount he's out. This is the defendant, Dmitry Pinchuk. He says the plaintiff's TV was 9 months old, and he thinks he was set up to take the fall for a TV that was damaged to begin with. He did nothing to break the TV. The problem with it is internal, and he is simply being framed. He's accused of cracking up a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to install a 65-inch flat-screen TV and says that the guy cracked the screen. But the defendant says the plaintiff is pulling a scam. It's the case of I'm flat busted.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Runako Anderson, you are suing Dmitry Pinchuk for $4,000 that you say he owes you for damages that he did to your television set and wall when he was trying to mount it for you. All right, tell me what happened.
Okay, Your Honor. It's a pretty open and closed case, and
I'll be the judge of that.
I looked on the internet to see if I could find somebody to quickly install my TV. I was trying to do it quickly so I could surprise my family. Quickly went online. I found the first
When you
thing
say
that came
quickly,
up.
when did you buy the TV?
We bought the TV in Christmas of last year.
And you were trying to get it mounted when?
6 months after that.
Okay,
So it's
and in the
probably
meantime, where had your
June
TV
15th to
been?
be exact. Excuse me?
Where had your TV been in the meantime?
It was just sitting on the floor on my living room floor because it had
Were you
stands.
using it or weren't you using it?
We were using it. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so he comes over and he's installing it where?
He's hanging it on a stone wall that I have in my living room.
How is he going to get wiring in the stone
This
wall?
is another reason why I called somebody, because it wasn't your normal
You're just
wall.
going to put it on the outside?
No.
How are you going to do it?
Well, we make access point behind the TV. It's a fake stone. It's not.
Okay. So you would put an access point behind the TV and then do what?
Then run wires down and make another access point on the bottom.
But according to you, he wasn't running wires down. He got an extension cord, and that's what he put behind the wall?
He put an extension cord.
Is that accurate?
That's right.
Is that the normal way to do it? I've
Yes.
never seen anybody do it with an extension cord. What if the extension
I
cord
think that's-
fails? Like, don't you have to put real wiring back there, or?
No.
No?
You have to put just extension cord for the
What if?
straight.
But I've had extension cords fail. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I have no idea. So anyway, but that's not what happened. What happens is far worse. According to you, at one point he has the television face down. Where?
On my living room couch.
Okay. And what is he doing?
He was attempting to remove the stands that I had on my TV at the base of the TV. So to put it on the wall, you have to remove these stands. He tried to remove one of them, and I believe he stripped the screw while doing so. And then he attempted to drill the stripped screw out of the stand. So he's pressing down a flat screen on an uneven surface, which is my couch, and he's drilling. I have it all on video.
You watched him do it?
No.
How do you have it on video?
Luckily, I think it was about a week prior, we just had a security system installed, and there was a camera facing the living room, which clearly showed everything that was happening when he was installing the TV. So luckily, it just so happened that we had the camera installed and we got the footage.
So what happens?
So then he proceeded to finish doing what he was doing.
Off.
He got the stands off.
Right.
He hung the TV.
Okay.
Everything looked fine. Everything was nice.
Right.
He came in. I said, "Oh yeah, that looks great." Then he turned the TV on.
And what happens?
All hell breaks loose. It's on camera. As soon as I walked in, I saw on his face, that something was wrong. And then he turned the TV on and he pointed and he said, "I'm sorry."
He had already known something was wrong?
When I walked in, yeah, obviously, because I guess he had turned it on prior to.
So what was the problem?
The problem was when you turn the TV on, there was a crack internally, not the outer screen, but internally.
How do
the
you know
internal
that?
screen. Just from observing it, I could see.
How can you see a crack from observing it that's internal and not external?
Because the screen, you can see just visually, just by looking at it, you can tell from the color. Just the way that.
You have a close-up picture of that for me, or a
Yes,
video
I
of
do.
that?
Yes.
All right, show me what happened there. So what happened? Let me ask you.
When we started installation, we see that the...
Did you have somebody else with you, or you were alone?
Yes, there was two of us.
Okay.
The pedestal for the TV, the screw inside was completely damaged. We could not unscrew it. It was overforced by somebody who put it in, originally. We did cut off the head of the screw to take it out of the pedestal. We didn't do anything.
How did you cut off the head of the screw?
With a drill. With the...
Does it make you nervous to have a drill,
It has nothing to do with the TV
How could it possibly comply with code to have an extension cord behind the wall?
It's a heavy-duty extension cord. It's a regular thing.
Does it comply with code? Is that what you're saying to me, or you don't know?
I don't know if it complies.
Well, you should know that kind of thing. All right, so you with the drill, you just drill it to death until it doesn't exist?
No.
How do you get the head off?
Little by little, you can probably see it on the video if it's there.
Yeah.
When very slow revolutions, little by little, cut off the head of the screw just to take the pedestal out.
Okay, so let me see. Wait, there's a big old crack that I'm looking at there. Was that not there before?
That was not there before.
That's an internal crack?
That's an internal crack, yes. The outer screen is
smooth.
actually smooth.
Oh.
And the inner part of the TV is
There's no
wow.
damage on the outside.
Okay, let's, go ahead,
Okay.
show me the video.
Okay. As you can see, he's
No, don't
drilling.
talk. Or is there no audio?
No, there's no audio, because
Okay,
this
go
is
ahead,
the
talk.
security footage from the security camera. And you can see he's drilling down onto the screen.
I can't believe you didn't stick around. I don't know what you were talking about in that phone call that could have been more important than looking at this. I would be so alarmed.
Like he said he did it before, and he was a
There is
professional.
nothing extraordinary about that.
What are you talking about? Did you see the TV?
Yes. But it's not me. It has
Oh,
nothing
it's
to do
not
with...
you.
Yeah, of course.
It's not you.
Nothing that we did could cause this damage.
You don't think drilling on a flat screen
We
TV,
didn't
which is
drill
kind of
on
a
the flat-
sensitive piece of
We
equipment?
didn't drill on the flat screen TV. We
No, you
drilled on the
drilled-
bottom.
Right,
of the
but when you're
bottom of
drilling, the TV is being pushed down onto the. Do you have tufting in this? Buttons in your sofa or no?
No, but I can tell you that he did it on an angle. So
The top of the TV's leaned against
exactly, and it's on an angle, and it's literally like there's no flat surface to lay that on. So
I mean, you can clearly tell where the pressure point is and the crack behind the
on
thing.
the opposite side from the screw that we drilled from.
Dude, I don't understand. When you were there, you were singing a totally different tune, right?
No, I didn't.
When you were there, didn't you say, I'm sorry and I'll pay for it?
Look,
Yes or no?
I did admit that.
Okay, show me the video of him admitting that it was him.
Gladly.
So the guy says, I'm sorry, I'll pay for it, on scene. Now he has a different story. Was the first statement at the scene a confession that just kills him?
I don't think it was a confession, but nobody hires somebody to install a broken TV. So he probably
it broke. The only issue wasn't on him. When he makes that statement, is that like a confession where he can't get out of it?
Yes, I think so.
Because
he broke the TV. You can't.
Now he says he didn't.
You can't go back on your word.
That's the question. You can't go back on your word. You buying that?
Yes, I agree with her.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
Big smile on his face, as you can see.
The audio, please.
Please.
It will be fixed. It will be installed, whatever it takes.
I Dimitri. See, come on, listen, man. Same face, man. Listen, you're telling me everything.
No, we broke a TV. Look, it's just.
And you're gonna come back tomorrow with the insurance company.
We're gonna start.
The business
gonna get up.
Yeah.
It gonna be up and working. Sony.
Boy.
Okay.
I was left in front of the fact that the TV...
Say it again.
They put me in front of the fact that TV was just working before I got there. When we got to the house, TV was completely disconnected.
That's not
Totally.
Hold on.
Everything, couldn't be working because we provided that extension cord. His TV...
That has to be a fire hazard. I'm still stuck on the idea that you could possibly put an extension cord as opposed to serious wiring behind the wall. But
we didn't do high voltage electric at all. The thing is, his TV, if it was connected, it wasn't there.
Okay.
So that's actually, we didn't think about it right away. We just start collecting little details after we stepped out of the house.
After you got the bill? How much did this TV cost?
$4,000, Your Honor.
No, that's not what your TV cost. How much did your TV
At the time when we
cost?
purchased it, right now it's worth $2,400 for the TV, Your Honor.
I asked him how long you have this TV. He said like from 6 to 9 months, something like that. And then there was a 65-inch TV box right in the middle of the living room. And we work with wholesalers who sells TVs. We asked what can cause that damage. They've said that this cannot be a damage that you did. That is internal damage. That damage could happen only when TV is placed into the softeners, into the box, and being dropped.
Okay, and so do you have an affidavit from some other disinterested party saying what you say? You're just going to tell me. Just trust me, Judge. People say it couldn't have been me.
You're absolutely right.
That's it? That's how you're doing it?
The only thing they came
not
there
working too
took
well.
pictures.
All right. If it was good enough for you to say, oh, geez, I'll replace this, why isn't it good enough for me? I mean, in other words, you've only changed your tune because it's expensive, and you figured it out, and you sat back and you said, they probably picked me out of a phone book to frame me. But otherwise, if it was good enough for you at the moment, why can that not be good enough for me?
I was under surprise. Just in front of me.
All you need to do is show me proof that the only way that could happen is not how you did it.
I don't have any proof like that.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be able to have any proof like that.
Alrighty. All right, and then I need you to tell me why you're suing for $2,500 when the estimate you gave me for a new one was $2,200.
Oh, I was actually misinformed. When I originally filled that out, I was misinformed about the price. My brother then corrected me.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so here's what's going to happen. You have a TV, and it's been damaged, and I believe it was damaged by him, because I can't imagine a more reckless way to do that than the way that it was being done. So what I'm going to do is work backwards from the $2,200 estimate. It's a used TV. Even though it was just used by you for 6 months, it's still a used TV, so I have to take some depreciation off. And I'm ordering the defendant to pay you $1,700 verdict for the plaintiff. That's my verdict.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The plaintiff has won this case against the installer here. The defendant comes out losing this case. What's your feeling there?
It's a business loss. You have to take a loss, of course.
Yeah, but what about your performance on the job there? What about that?
There was nothing wrong.
Seemed like kind of a Humpty Dumpty job you were doing
No,
there.
it wasn't. I mean, if you would be in the room and if you would see the conditions of the room, you would understand that there was no way to do it otherwise.
You had to do it like Humpty Dumpty. You had
no, not Humpty. There was no Humpty Dumpty at all.
No? All right. All right, Follow Officer McIntosh around the corner. All right, step on in here. You win your case. You collect half of what you sued for, or less than.
Yep.
Well, at least we're vindicated. I mean, he knew he did a messed up job, okay? So all you had to do is man up and, he said he was going to try to get it replaced. To go back on your word, that was the worst part of it.
Was it Humpty Dumpty?
Yeah, Humpty Dumpty.
Definitely fell off the wall. And he wasted your time in the process.
Harvey?
Okay, this whole idea of depreciating an item and figuring out what it's worth is not an exact science. So what you should do, if you're in a situation like the plaintiff, you have to come in with some kind of estimates, ideally, where you can show the judge what something is worth in the open market. And that will do it for this case. Litigants, for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Diane Kenny. She says she agreed to rent an apartment from the defendant, but the guy couldn't get the previous tenants to move out, and the deal fell through. For some odd reason, though, the defendant refuses to return her deposit or pay for the storage of her belongings, even though he jumped the gun and rented the place to her before it was vacant. She's suing for $3,000, the amount she's owed. This is the defendant, William Alm. He says he was very clear he may have a problem getting his tenants out by the plaintiff's move-in date, and she said she was willing to take the risk. He also told her the deposit she was giving him was non-refundable. He owes her nothing, and is pretty sure today's judgment will go his way. He's accused of renting an occupied apartment.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff rented an apartment from the defendant, but the previous tenant wouldn't move out, so the plaintiff demanded her security back. Landlord didn't give it to her, but he says it's non-refundable. It's the case of one unit, lots of tenants.
All right, Ms. Kenny, you are suing Mr. Alm for $3,000 that you say he owes you and a security deposit that he has not returned, plus storage fees that you've had to pay because you couldn't move in there, and aggravation. Tell me what's going on.
All right, well, I was driving down the road. William was putting up a for rent sign at his house. I pulled in. I looked at the apartment.
Wow, what a dream. I'm putting up a for rent sign and somebody talks to me that second.
Yeah, and the apartment was rented at the time. The tenant supposedly had a lease that was due at the end of June. They were supposed to be out. So we were going to move in July 2nd. Okay. So he wanted the month's security up front, which I gave him, $1,900. And when I went to move in, the tenants were still there. So I said, okay, well, obviously I need to move from my place. I already moved out of my place to move into this place.
How did you find out the tenants hadn't moved? You showed up with a moving truck?
I showed up to the house about a week before we were supposed to move in. All right. I just wanted to make sure that everything's fine. We got the dates right. Everything's good. Tenants were still there, so I could not move in. I asked for my...
a week before, you're not supposed to move in.
No, but the tenants were still there. They're refusing to leave. He said they're refusing to leave.
Right, that's what I mean. So there had to be a conversation between you two.
Yes, I spoke with him. He said that the tenants were refusing to leave. He was going to start eviction procedures. Oh. Okay, so I was like, okay, it is what it is. Just give me my security back.
And what did he say?
He said, I don't have that type of money.
I don't have that type of money. You just gave him that type of money.
I know.
Okay, and you're supposed to keep that type of money in a separate interest-bearing account. What did you spend that money?
That money went into, I was still creating another apartment at the house. I had put the money into the house. I thought the tenants were going to move by July 1st was the end of their thing. But what had happened with them is they had actually, they took off to Pennsylvania for the summer. And they never said anything. so they just vanished.
Did they pay, were they paying rent?
They still haven't paid rent.
What is the reason that you're not returning this woman's security deposit?
I don't have the money at the moment.
That's your defense?
No. What basically you're asking me now?
What's your defense?
What's my defense? Well,
So can the landlord spend the tenant security deposit?
Well, what I'm thinking is it depends on what.
I don't want it depends. I want a yes or a no.
No.
Why?
Because it's not right.
Okay. What do you say?
I say you can't spend it.
Why?
He agreed that he would give it back in case he moved out.
Huh?
It's a deposit. That's what it is. You can't spend the deposit.
We will find out going inside the courtroom.
I told her that the apartment was occupied. Their lease ends on July 1st. You can move in July 2nd if they're out.
And if they're not out, what? I keep your money?
If they're not out, then no, she would obviously be entitled to the money back at that point. But what happened?
So then why didn't you give her the money back?
I didn't have it at that point.
Okay, well then, do you understand that you're not supposed to spend that money?
Yeah, now I do.
Now you do. Why would it be, if you know, if you have a sense and you're not positive that your tenants are gonna leave, you're not delivering the apartment for her to live in, then on what planet would you not be returning money? So maybe that money was not money you should be spending, period, no matter what. So I don't understand. So then what do you tell her?
Well, on each receipt, it is written, we had agreed this was not going to be refundable because she was taking it off of I was taking it off of the market. She was supposed to be paying a month's rent, a month's security, and 2 months security, actually. So that was
thank God you didn't do that. Go on.
That was $5,700.
Yeah, when she moves in.
Right.
Right. So non-refundable, right? So like if I sell you a car and then you give me $5,000 for the car, I can go, I said non-refundable, there's no car for you, right? Do you think that when you breach a contract by not being able to deliver for her a roof over her head, that means that they're still non-refundable? Non-refundable is for when you didn't breach and she says, I changed my mind, I found something nicer, I want my money back. No, it's non-refundable. You think for one moment when you breach, I don't care if those people overstayed or didn't overstay or paying you or not paying you, I don't care. Those are your problems. They are not her problems. On what planet are you not going to get ordered to return that $1,900? Not on this one. Here on planet Earth, you pay that back because I am pretty sure that if the shoe was on the other foot, you'd be demanding that money back, wouldn't you?
No.
No. You would just say, oh, I guess those are the lumps I take. Yeah, you're that kind of guy. You have another additional monies that you're asking for storage. Tell me about that.
Okay, I moved out of a 3-bedroom house that I was supposed to move into a 3-bedroom apartment, so I had a house full of furniture. Unfortunately, since I had no place to go, my son's friend let us crash in his basement. I can't put a house full of furniture in a basement, so I have 100.
Is that where you're still living now?
I am still there right now.
Okay, so you're asking for the storage that you did not expect to have to pay.
Correct.
And that's $309, and I agree with you. You're entitled to that. Now, what's the $791 for aggravation?
I've been doing dishes in a bathroom for the whole month because I'm in a basement. I have no kitchen. Okay, it's just the world's most horrible experience.
That you're not entitled to. But you are entitled to the $1,900 and you're entitled to your storage fees because you don't get to take people's money, steal people's money, really. It's steal. Don't roll your eyes at me. It is steal. It doesn't belong to you. You were given it in order to do something and then you didn't do the something. You didn't provide it. Oh, by the way, did he say, oh, by the way, there's a chance, so you're agreeing to this, there's a chance that my tenants might hold over as a complete surprise to me, and if that happens, you still don't get your money back. Did that conversation happen?
No.
Yeah, I kind of think it'd be hard to rent a place saying that. I'm ruling in your favor in the amount of the $2,209. Pay the lady.
Thank you.
This is the defendant coming out of here. How'd it go?
Not very good.
Well, why do you think you're entitled to keep the lady's money? Just because you wrote non-refundable and down there?
No, we
can make up the law?
No, we explained. We had the conversation.
That she assumes the risk, all the risk.
Exactly. That's exactly the conversation we had.
Mm-hmm.
She said that she'd be willing to take that risk because she was dying to get out of the place that she was in. She was in a place where the roof was leaking. It was coming through the...
You offered her a better deal than just what? The craps table in Atlantic City? She could put $1,900 there and taken a risk if she wanted to.
Yeah, I guess she could have, but she didn't. All right.
All right, sir.
What's your reaction to this outcome here?
Well, I'm happy. I kind of knew it was going to go this way. I didn't think he could just keep my money. And I'm very happy.
He said you were willing to take the casino risk with him. You knew that if it didn't work out, you lose your money, right?
No, I knew if it didn't work out, I would need to find another place to live, but I assumed I would be getting my money back.
You did.
I did.
Harvey? So FYI, Kurt, you know this, but everybody else, a landlord is only allowed to keep a security deposit for 2 reasons. One is failure to pay rent, and the second is damage to the apartment.